Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. Thank you for joining me today. So I've got a different kind of video for you today. I've never done anything like this and I'm just wondering how it's going to go down. Now if it goes down well, maybe I'll do it every quarter. I was speaking to my friend Desi and I think I spoke to Lisa about it as well, and just, you know, feeled them out about the idea of it, and they both thought it was a good one. So basically, I've mentioned it a few times in videos in passing. I'm not really buying a lot. I'm not saying to you I'm not going to buy anything, because there's at least 2 palettes I've got my eyes on, maybe 3 at a push. But I want to start like putting things away for Christmas for myself, because I tend to make myself a little Christmas box, and I was kind of concerned. I'm like, well, what can I get myself this year? You know, I'm saying no to everything. Anyway, let me talk about the first thing. Now, obviously, if you've been around the channel for any length of time recently, I have been obsessed, and I mean obsessed, with the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. It looks so pretty. But I was watching Smell for March's video, and she basically put every single eyeshadow on her eyelids, and I'm like, it's not that spectacular. And I'm thinking to myself, I bet you I could dupe that palette. And I've come up with this series. You may have seen it before this video, or if not, you'll see it after this video. If I can dupe it, I won't buy it, because obviously I've got the shades in my collection and I don't need to buy it. Anyway, I'll show you the palette. The palette's a bit cracked. I have done a video on this. You might see it before this video goes up, but can you see it came to me cracked? But just look at that colour story. So it's a complete dupe for the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude. I think the only one, I think this one is just one that I put in there because I didn't have the right shade from the I Need a Nude, but everything else is a complete dupe for it. So the 14 shades, and I've just put this one in. The only thing is with this palette, if you've got OCD, you'll know what I mean. Putting square pans and round pans in a palette together, it just throws you off. I don't like it, so I'm thinking maybe I'll get the That's Taught palette just to kind of give my brain a rest. But it gives me a chance to use the Colourpop. These are like Colourpop Going Coconut shades, and they're from the Natasha Denona Glam palette. I mean, I really do like the look of it. I've not used it yet like this, so look out for that. I mean, I have done, I don't know if I've done videos. I use Going Coconuts and I use the Glam palette, but I've not used them together. So I'm looking forward to doing that. So that has saved me £64, guys. Let me get the other one. Right, so more recently I did this palette. Again, if you've been around the channel, you'll have seen me using it. So this is a dupe for the Natasha Denona Yucca palette. So that stopped me getting the Natasha Denona Yucca palette. I thought I would get both in the sale, in the Black Friday sale, the I Need a Nude and the Yucca palette. I don't think I'm going to bother. At this moment in time, it's not bothering me not to have them. And the shades in here are a lot nicer than the ones in the Yucca palette, just because they're like duochromes here. Actually, so this one's from the Triochrome palette. This one's from the Gold, yeah, so that's a duochrome, and I think that's a duochrome as well, and that is from Zendo, which is definitely a duochrome. So you've got more of those shifty eyeshadows in this palette that I've made for myself, so it's better, I feel like. And I've heard quite a few negative reviews on the Yucca palette, so I wasn't sure about getting it anyway. So again, that saved me another £64. Right, and then the one that really got me, I was so sure I was going to order it at release. So I'd been seeing Pat McGrath Labs' latest holiday collection, and I've never bought any of the holiday collection pieces that she's brought out, and I saw the, so it's the Pat McGrath Labs Mothership Bijoux Brilliance, and it's the Starstruck Splendour one, so it's the lightest one that you can get with neutrals, and it's got that popper green, and I was so sure I was going to get that palette, guys. I was obsessed with it for a good week or two, and like, you know, I was talking myself into getting it, you know, mainly for the blushers. But let me show you. Right, so this this really wasn't meant to be a show and tell, but while I've got the things, I may as well show you. So Amy kindly gifted me this. It's a Pat McGrath Labs Divine Blush and Glow Trio in Galactic Sun. So you're getting Divine Rose, Desert Orchid and Golden Nectar. So it looks like that. It's beautiful. I know that I love this highlighter, but I've not spent enough time with the blushes. So what I need to do is pull it out in the next shot, my stash. I might still get the Mcgrath Labs palette yet, the holiday one, but I need to know that I love these blushes. If they're just run-of-the-mill blushes, let me know what you think of her blushes, won't you? Leave it in the comments down below, because I've heard different things. Let me know if you feel like they're worth the money that she charges for them. I just said to myself, Andrea, although the eyeshadows look absolutely gorgeous and sparkly, you don't even know if you like the blush formula. So I'm gonna bring this out a little bit more. Like I said, I've only used it that one time, and I need more time to know whether I like the blush formula, because I don't want to get a palette and not like half the palette, if you know what I mean. So that was another £59 saved. I don't feel like at this moment in time, I don't feel like I want it. I don't feel like I'll get it. And part of me is inclined to think, well, it's still on the site, you know, it's been released for over a week now and it's still on the site. Is the collection doing as well as other collections? I don't know about the holiday collection. I don't know how fast it normally sells out. But from what people have said to me in the past, like, things have gone up there. Like, I remember when I was looking at the Mcgrath. So I remember when I was looking for this, way before I got it bought for me by Naomi. So this one's the Mcgrath Bridgerton Diamond of the First Water, and it's sold out so darn quick. And I thought that the Bijoux Brilliance, I don't think I'm pronouncing it right, but I thought that would sell out really, really quick as well. I've only checked on the palettes, I've not checked on anything else. But I'm kind of inclined to think, are people as interested in it? I feel like some people don't like it because they've put the blushes in there, but I think it's a really neat idea that they put eye and face in the same palette. Let me know what you guys think of the palettes, won't you, in the comments. Let me know if you picked anything up from the collection as well. I'd be really interested in your thoughts on it. Then, what have we got next? So Colourpop have brought out that new collection, haven't they, with the 1111 palette, and it is very, very similar to I Need a Nude, and I was going to get that, and I saw Amanda from Just For Fun do a review, and I was very, very put off by it, to be honest. I was kind of like, yeah, I can dupe it, you know. In fact, I probably will dupe it when I put all my shades together, because this is very much like the 1111 palette as well, so it's kind of like I've got both palettes in one there. Another thing I need to tell you is I actually saw a review done by Emily Noel, because I wanted to make sure that I really didn't need that palette. The palette, and I went and saw that she got the palette gifted by Natasha Denona. She was using it and comparing it to other palettes that she's got in her collection, and she basically said, if you've got Going Coconut, show more love to that. You really don't need the I Need a Nude. She said it's a more condensed version, the Going Coconut that is, of I Need a Nude, and I've like kind of put the Glam palette together with the Going Coconuts, and someone in the comments said Colourpop, that's taupe, has got some really nice shimmers as well, so that looks really, really nice with the Going Coconuts. So you can obviously do that. If you don't have the Glam palette, you can just mix the Going Coconuts and the That's Taupe. At the end of the video she said, if I wasn't gifted this palette by Natasha Denona, would I go out and buy it? That's the question. And she was honest, she just said no, that she wouldn't. She said she's got better palettes by Natasha Denona than that, and it's just very, very basic. She said it depends what you want it for. If you want it for an everyday neutral palette, maybe it will be your favourite neutral palette, but you can get all these shades within your collection, no doubt. So yeah, she was just very honest about it. So I was like, yeah, you're totally right, I do not need to be spending £64. Just because everyone else has got it doesn't mean I have to have it, does it? I mean, I can do looks like that without actually having the palette. And with me, when I buy new palettes, I test it out for the channel and then I don't use them again. So what I'm trying to do is work my way through all the palettes that I have in my collection. I think there's about 10, maybe 13, and then I've worked my way through my entire collection, and then I can just use what I want when I want. So yeah, doing that. The next palette is the Ensleigh Flower Moon palette, and don't worry, I'll put pictures on as I'm talking about these, and that retailed at $57.70. But what you've got to factor in is it's coming from the US, and then obviously shipping and possibly customs. So I was looking at the palette, and like with every eyeshadow palette that I'm interested in, it could be a £10 palette or it could be a £70 palette. I always go to YouTube and see what the looks are that you can create. I like to see the swatches, you know, like when they put the swatches on the arms, I like to see that. And I was noticing the middle row, you'll see it when I put the picture up, I was noticing the middle row is just full of greens, and they all look like. So then I saw this YouTuber had actually done a review on it. I can't remember her name, but she's relatively small. I will try and find that video and I'll put it in the description box if you want to go and check it out. I'll put Samantha March's in the description box as well, and I'll put Emily's in the description box as well. Hopefully I'll remember to do it. So I went and saw this woman's review. She did swatches. She did a really thorough review, guys, and I'm talking like days and days. She was obviously playing with the palette just to give us a thorough review. I really enjoyed watching it. And when it came to the end of it, she said, I bet I can get a look with these greens that look the same. So basically she did a look on her left eye with one green, and obviously the mattes, and then she did the same look with a different green, and it looked, I'm not kidding you guys, it looked exactly the same. And you know, I was just thinking to myself, well, why do you want the palette in the first place? The rest of the palette was nice, but it's full of greens in the middle. I don't wear green as much anymore, so that's like at least a good quarter of the palette I'm not going to wear. At the bottom, from memory, what I can remember is, let's just bring it up and talk about it. Okay, it's coming up now. Right, so there's no doubt it's a pretty palette, right? No doubt about it at all. Right, so can we zoom in? No, probably not. I'll take the picture, but in this middle row here, no doubt about it, the entire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 no, I'd say 6 shades are green. Now my friend Amy's got this palette and she said there is a difference. Like from what I saw in swatches is very slight. So obviously I didn't want it for that. And then the greens at the bottom, the two bottom greens, they're called Meadow and Budding. They look like the exact same ones. So these two here. Lush looks a little bit different. Then we've got Bloom and Freesia. That looks the same up at the top here. You've got a couple of blues in there. I'm not a blue lover. And then I just thought to myself, Andrea, why do you want it? It's because it's got multi-chromes in it. Let me show you on here. Look at that. I mean, it is beautiful, right? But if I'm not going to use the greens, what is the point in me getting it? And they've just brought a new one out. I'm not interested in that either. So yeah, I decided not to get that, and that one was £57.70. I wouldn't have got all of these palettes. Well, maybe in time I would. But what I wanted to do is just let you know basically what was on my kind of wish list, and if I would have got them all, how much I would have spent. So my notes app were being stubborn. So the next one was the Revolution and Emily in Paris, and the only one I would have gotten if the pans were a bit wider would have probably been, it's kind of like in the shape of a camera. Now as a person who really does love Emily in Paris, I'm still to watch the last season, because I think that's season 3, isn't it? And the end of season 2, but I'm waiting to renew my Netflix subscription for when The Crown comes back on, and I'm just going to renew it for a month, so I'm going to watch everything then. So anyway, as a Emily in Paris lover, I was glad that they did a camera palette, but I wasn't happy with the collection. You know, there was a lipstick, I think it was the Emily lipstick that I really liked, and that's it from the entire collection, and I'm not going to put an order in for one thing. It's just absolutely ridiculous. If I ever get anything else and they're still selling it, then I'll order it. But it was like a red, and I don't really need any more red lipsticks in my collection anyway. And yeah, that's all I liked from the collection. There's also the Willy Wonka palette that's come out recently, and I didn't think I liked it. I really like that palette, so I'll probably end up getting that. So in that case then there's 3 things on the list. I'm not getting it anytime soon, I don't think. It's £14.99. I was shocked at the price of it. I think they're trying to cash in because obviously the film's coming out soon. Can't wait to go and watch that. I love Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So there's that. So that's one of the things I'll probably get, and that's a probably, it's a maybe. Beauty Bay have just bought out this palette, Metamorphic I think it's called. Let me show you. And to look at it, I wouldn't think that was you. Why is it not letting me open any of my apps? It's ridiculous. Right, let's see. Right, to look at this palette, you wouldn't think it's me at all, because it's full of like blues, teals, purples, but there's a but. It's got duochromes in it, and you know how I feel about shift shades, so I can use it as a companion palette. It does look real pretty. It's only £18. So yeah, I really want that one. And then I need to go to Instagram for this because it's not been released yet. So that's £18. You will have seen this if you follow them. So that's a palette I want to get. So it's the Glaminatrix. Is it Rich Romantic? Yeah, Rich Romantic. Let me show you some of the swatches and you'll understand why. You really will. I didn't think I wanted it. Look at these swatches, guys. I'm hoping you're seeing it. If not, I'm just going to like put a picture in of the swatches. I would like them to use a fair skin model as well as a deeper toned model, just to see what it looks like on my skin toned, but I don't think they've done that. I mean, they do have fair skin models. Obviously that's not the palette. I would just have liked to have seen them use that on a fair skin model as well as a deep skin. What they should have done is done swatches on fair, medium and deep. Maybe they will when the palette comes out on the website, I don't know. I don't really know how Glaminatrix uses their models, so that's just an observation at the moment, but it does look absolutely stunning. I mean, come on. Those here. There's a lot of darker shades which aren't really me, you know, like in the mattes. But again, I don't care about that. I'm thinking companion palettes. I'm thinking shimmery goodness. So yeah, I really want that. I don't know if I'm going to get it on first release. Beauty Bay one isn't going to be limited edition. But I was looking at the Glaminatrix Sugar and Spice palette just to see if it was still on the Glaminatrix website. I've got that, so obviously I don't need it. And it is. And that came out, what, a couple of months ago. So I could easily wait a couple of months and then buy it myself for Christmas or something like that. Anyway, this concludes the video. Did I tell you how much I would have saved? I don't think I did I? So guys, if I would have bought every single palette I've just told you about, which I probably would have over time, the old Andrea who was spending just for the sake of it, and I don't even know how much my collection is worth. That's the worrying thing, and I could do so much more with this money rather than using it for makeup. It says total saved here, £267.69. That's if I would have bought every single thing that I've wanted to buy. I don't feel like hard done by for not buying those palettes. Like I said, if I can dupe it, I won't buy it. But yeah, this concludes the video, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you think this is a good series or not. Maybe I'll continue to do it every quarter or whenever I see enough palettes that I kind of don't want. I personally do feel like these kind of videos are good to watch. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye guys.